Hi, Cosmic Cuties. Are you ready to finally stop chasing love and start manifesting it? In my Manifest Your Partner workshop, I'm going to teach you the cosmic secrets to clearing blocks, setting juicy intentions, and actually calling in the love you deserve without settling for crumbs. Head to Cosmic RX to grab instant access because, babe, it's not what you bring to the table. It's remembering you are the table, and it's time to invite your love to sit with you. Welcome back, Cosmic Baddies, to another week of Cosmic RX Radio. This week, the sky is giving you the opportunity to tap into alchemical transformation and intuitive clarity so you can live your most aligned, embodied, and empowered self. And if you are like me and saying, yes, please, how can I tap into this? Where can I get some more? I've got you, boo. That's what we're going to do. We're going to break it down. We are deep in Scorpio season. We're officially here and we are in, our emotional excavation era, our era of owning our own power unapologetically, knowing I will not be shamed. I will not be tamed. And I'm going to break down exactly what the planets are saying, how we can work with this, and of course, how we can live in alignment with our highest and hottest self. Before all of that, welcome to Cosmic RX Radio, a podcast that gives you real-life tools of spiritual empowerment and pure hype. I'm your host and intuitive guide, MADI Murphy. I'll be serving up your weekly energy readings, cosmic boss interviews, and astro inspiration. Are you ready to love yourself more, manifest your dream life, and own your magic? Let's jump in. Let me introduce myself. Let's say hi. It is me. It is your high vibe hype woman, your hostess with the mostest, your messy metaphysician, your cosmic consultant, MADI Murphy. How are we doing? I hope you can grab yourself some cosmic coffee, a mystical matcha, light a candle, and let's get into it. Let's talk about what's happening in the stars and how to actually work with it, not against it. So, like I said, we are in Scorpio season. We have a lot of, I would say, more micro transits this week, not one of those big, there's no big full moon. There's no new moon. We're coming off of that new moon in Libra. That was really potent. Mercury is mixing it up and doing some things. I'm going to get into. And of course, I'm going to break down what's happening with the lunar weather in your emotional world so you can navigate and meet this week with the most just regulated, grounded, embodied version of you. Before I get into that, we have to do Virgo announcements. Okay, my Virgo moment to get the housekeeping out of the way. First and foremost, if you are looking for community, if you are looking to manifest in a group, if you are looking for resources of what's going on astrologically, ritual work, any kind of things, card spreads to help you live in the most accordance, most alignment with the season. And again, people use this for themselves. We also have a lot of space holders in this community who use this with their clients, with their community, and we love that. Join Cosmic RX Plus Premium. We have our Lunarverse where we hang out. It's like a cosmic cafeteria. And we have our Cosmic Fit Club approach to like me being your planetary personal trainer, where like we know what to do. We know on the new moon, we should be sitting down, setting those intentions. We know on the full moon, we should be activating certain things, but it is hard to do that on your own, especially the new moon. I'm like, the new moon is a time to get quiet, to get still. And we just had that new moon call and it reminded me of why I love this work because again, I've just started working with someone to help me, get into my body, yada, yada. And I'm like, I know the things to do, but there's something about having a guide, something about having a dedicated space to do it in. If this is you, if you've been looking for this, get on in this community. We also are doing every season, I'm highlighting a course or creating something, a mini course that can really help you go deeper with the medicine of the season for your own transformation from the inside out. So we have a brand new shadow work course here by popular demand. We do shadow work in my coaching containers in our Cosmic Boss, but this is a separate dedicated little mini workshop for you if you've been feeling called to heal those patterns for once and for all, like move past the things that feel limiting, that feel blocked to you, face your fears, stop running from your triggers, and really bring all of you online in this season. This is for you. And shadow work, it's not about fixing yourself. It's about befriending the parts of you that have been there to try to protect you. And now you can say, hey, I'm strong enough. We are powerful enough where you can take all that energy you were using to protect me and instead direct that towards living my most magnetic, magical, juicy ass life. And it is, I think shadow work is one of the biggest aspects to really being a cosmic baddie, right? To being that bad bitch with the good heart. And you're going to get guided practices, journal prompts, tools to really, in your own timing, your own leisure, reclaim your power, transmute shame into strength. The link will be in the show notes, be over, on our Instagram bio too. And I just wanted to, shout all that out because this is the season where we feel that call. We feel that call to go deeper and realize that the treasures we most seek are usually in the parts of us in the caves that we avoid, that are deep. So let's go there together. We got this. And of course, last announcement, I have some IRL events coming up in November. I am doing a Rituals for the Revolution with Amanda Baudier in Brooklyn, November 23rd. If anyone wants to join that, the link is in my bio. And then, of course, the Cosmic Call. If you want to kick off the year in deep ritual, in deep ceremony, really understanding your cosmic blueprint and getting to sit with some of the most powerful, multidimensional creators, visionaries, and leaders that I know. Again, check that out in the show notes. Let's get into it now. I've been yapping. I want to really talk about, of course, the moon right now. Who doesn't want to talk about the moon? I always want to talk about the moon. I work for the moon, not for the man. And working with the moon, again, why I'm so passionate about it is that understanding the moon phase and what's going on in the moon sign has been such a game changer. The moon is like our gateway drug into astrology. The moon is our mama who holds our hand throughout the month. The moon is our umbilical cord to the cosmos, understanding and remembering that we are made of stardust. We are so much bigger than what's happening in our physical body here on Earth. But the moon can help us show up that emotional strength and fortitude and clarity so we can enjoy, being on Earth in this body. So Monday and Tuesday, Capricorn moon days, we're going to focus on getting structured, right? Taking radical accountability for something, facing something head on, recommitting to your long-term goals, recommitting to some kind of sense of responsibility in your life, being sovereign, right? Leading with integrity. Don't on these days. Things we're going to look out for is spiraling into that self-criticism that becomes paralyzing, or that sense of overworking that feels, again, like disembodied, that feels like you're beating yourself up into, like, if I work harder, if I just, bite into this apple of the curse of busyness where I feel like I have to equate importance with busyness, that's where we start to burn out, right? So we have to know rest is productive too. And we have to know that sometimes, like, it's time to put down the keyboard, put down the laptop, put down the spreadsheet, right? Put down the list and enjoy and recoup and regenerate. Wednesday, Thursday into Friday morning, we are in Aquarius moon days. So I would love for you to connect with your cosmic crew, collaborate, brainstorm. This could be online. This could be offline, especially now with everything happening in the world, coming off of a very intense Libra season. We had the No King's Day. I'd love to see people mobilize and organize. And now this might be a good moment, these Aquarius moon days, to be like, okay, now what next? What are our next steps? Who are my people? How am I taking care of them? And what are we doing in our corner of the world, right? To make a difference. What I don't want you to do this day is detach emotionally so much that we feel that we are in the place of, like, not being in our humanness. Can be anything from getting too lost in the digital realms, like the doom scrolling, the AI slapaganda of it all, like getting so in that, like, far out, overwhelmed mode, especially with, Uranus and Gemini. This can really happen. And instead, I want you to think about, like, again, being in the heart space, being in the body, and knowing that you can be a visionary and you can be vulnerable. They can coexist. Shaking hands emoji. And then Friday around 11:46 a.m. East Coast time through Sunday, at 3:40 p.m. East Coast time, we have Pisces moon energy. And this is my lunar return. And how lucky. Pisces moon energy is happening for me during Halloween. I have a complex relationship with Halloween. Sometimes it like spooks me out because people go fucking crazy in that energy where I'm like, oh my God, like, I don't know, kind of like New Year's Eve or St. Patrick's Day with a little bit of a twist. So there's these holidays, especially in big cities, where I'm like, okay, y'all need to like chill a little bit. But the actual energy of it, I love Samhain. We'll talk about that. I love when the veil is thin. I love dressing up. So yeah, there's something really exciting about it being a Pisces moon energy. So let's definitely think about, dreaming big, getting in touch with your inner child, like dress up like for your inner child in that sense of being silly, or, get yourself some yummy treats, or is there like almost a holiday Halloween tradition you love to do growing up? And again, it's a great time to get in touch with your intuition, right? Meditate, make art, connect with spirit. Ouija boards are controversial. If you feel good with them, go for it. You could be pulling cards. It could be doing scrying. Again, a Samhain ritual, putting out like dumb supper, another meal for an ancestor, just doing a meditation to connect with them. I did, before I got really into this working with Samhain years ago, my sister and I did a meditation to connect to our ancestors on Samhain. And we were like, okay, let's just see what happens. And it was life-changing. Okay. So the Pisces moon energy, the veil is thin, thin, thin. The veil is like just a gauzy nothing of nothing. But we are going to look out for it on those Pisces moon days. Don't escape. We're not escaping reality, right? We're keeping one foot in reality, one foot in the cosmos. We're going to also look out for too much drugs, alcohol. Like we're going to stay in that discernment, and we're going to stay in that place of just making sure we don't like lose the plot. And it might even be a good Halloween to be like sober curious, and to stay grounded in it this weekend. When it is the Pisces moon weekend, like you don't need drugs, alcohol, you are drugs. Sunday, 3:40 onward, we have Aries moon energy to round out the weekend. So you might just do something for yourself that Sunday night, right? Take action on something that's been percolating or procrastinating on, or just move your body, or get ready for a really great fresh start beginning of the week. Just don't rush. Just don't be in that place of like reacting too aggressively. We're going to channel that fire with intention always. Okay. And remember, like where our attention goes, energy flows. So that heat, like let's put that into channeling a really fresh, exciting, empowered start to the week. In terms of planetary planning for the week, I'm just gonna, little Santino's going down for a nap next to me. So I'm whispering. And we're back, just moving so little Santino can get his nap in. This is on being a working mom. We just shuffle it around and make it happen. So let's just do a little recap of, again, like I said, there's not a big new moon, full moon, not some big cosmic calendar event, but rather a series of micro events happening this week, little astrological activations. So October 28th, Mars is going to trine Jupiter. I'll get into that. October 29th, Mercury is going to make a trine with Neptune. That's also a series. First part of a trilogy. Last week, you heard me talk about these trilogies. There's a lot of these happening, okay? So we just take note of that because we realize there's a story that is about to unfold, and part of it starts this week. And then right as we go into Halloween, Mercury moves from Scorpio into Sagittarius on October 29th, and it stays there to November 18th. And then Mars is going to trine Saturn on that same day. Mercury is also going to oppose Uranus on that same day. So again, especially my writers, my big thinkers, we're going to pay attention, and I'm going to get into like some RXs for you, but just giving you high level of what's happening. And then as the week rounds out, we're going to have over the weekend some interesting Venus, Mars, love, passion things getting stirred up because Venus is going to square Jupiter, Mars is going to trine Neptune. And I'm also going to end with a little mini ritual to do for Samhain in case that is of interest to you this weekend, this week. Again, I really encourage doing something. We have like Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos, we have Samhain. We have this time of year where many different cultures understand that the veil is thin. There is an opportunity to connect to the other world, especially our ancestors. So let's get into that planetary planning now, play by play with some cosmic RXs, some planetary prescriptions, so you can take actionable steps on what all this means for you. So like I said, October 28th, we have Mars is trining Jupiter. This is big magic, honey. This is big move. This is big motivation. This is like cosmic rocket fuel for your goals. We are shooting into something different, right? We are doing something
really quite potent, quite intense, quite something they've been working on for a while, a transformation, especially having to do with your feminine energy, your intuition. Other women, this is like Jupiter in Cancer, Mars in Scorpio, like aligning in the sky to take you somewhere energetically, spiritually that you have been working on, like somewhere how you've been working on getting there. Things that I want you to think about. I would love for you to channel your passion into purpose, to do something, to create something this day that is activating and planting a seed, creating something with emotional depth. I would love to watch you take up space this day. If there's an opportunity to step into your main character energy, no shrinking allowed during this energy, right? I would love for you to take some kind of calculated leap, like take some kind of, again, step towards this future on this day. And I would love for you to like really tune in, like what are 3 bold actions you've been procrastinating on or been scared to take, and do one of them. You're so supported. I just like, please do something with this energy this day. Then October 29th, we get into this first of this trilogy energy with Mercury trining Neptune. So the manifestation portal, she's open, baby. Okay. Like it's Scorpio energy. We are channeling the most. And Neptune, when Neptune's involved, we're tapping into like the etheric realms, and it's like the intuition. The Wi-Fi signal is set to straight like spirit mode. So I want you to pay attention to the energy that comes through, the hits you get, the synchronicities, the symbols, the signs this day, especially. And I would love for you to either do a 10-minute visualization meditation, something where you're feeling your desires as already done, as already like in your field, as already happened, or something where you're writing a letter like to you right now from future you, from a year from now you, where you have everything that you are working on, that you are looking towards, you are visualizing, and be like, hey girl, hey hun, you did it. Like, and this is how it feels on the other side. Just doing something to tap into the frequency of the timeline shift that wants to occur. And then again, if you're like, okay, I like that, but maybe I'm not always, some people I know listening we're cosmic baddies. Some of us are a little bit more like analytical in our approach to things. So if all of this doesn't feel like super aligned and juicy for you, how about just a journal prompt that says, if I knew it could be easy, if it were easy, what would I allow myself to receive? And just see what happens from there. Just see what happens. If it were easy, what would I allow myself to receive? Then we're going right into Mercury is going to enter Sag. Mercury, the messenger planet, the communication planet, is entering the sign of the visionary, the adventurer, the like truth seeker, the big picture baddie, right? So we have the next few weeks to feel into clarity, to feel into expansion, to feel into like the bigger picture of why we're doing all this. Of course, we know Mercury is in its shadow. So if you're Mercury ruled like me, you have a lot of Virgo or Gemini in your chart, you're already going to be feeling some of the wonkiness, but also in the wonkiness, there is wisdom, right? In the mess, there is messages. In the chaos, there is some kind of channeled oracle message for us. So pay attention to that. Cosmic RXs for Mercury and Sag. Open your mind, do something that helps you get out of the small place of your mind. Like, we have, don't quote me, I'm ballparking. I think science says that we have like 60,000 thoughts a day, and like 70% of them are repetitive. So can we do something to train our brain on something new during this time? Go find inspiration, right? Go to a museum, read a different book, listen to a different podcast, chat up a stranger, just go somewhere and do something that you've never done before. It's amazing what it does for your neural pathways. And this is science and spirituality, but it's very scientifically backed. During Mercury and Sag, I also want you to practice like walking the walk. Sometimes in the spiritual realm, we get so in the head, we get so in the navel gazing, we forget that we're actually meant to go like do and embody and experience like spiritual energy. So go like, or practice sharing some of your beliefs, say things out loud, right? And, speak your truth from that place of the soul, do it with grace and really feel into like that throat chakra, that voice as a channel for intuitive wisdom. And I also love during Mercury and Sag, like bring in some humor, bring in some silly goose energy. We take ourselves way too seriously, like all the time as humans, but definitely now we can do that. Sag is very playful. Sag is the comedian. So like bring some lightness in. Don't be afraid to laugh at yourself. And like, again, seek humor out. Comedy shows, comfort movies, memes, like what makes you giggle? And in that, there is something that wants to like be revealed to you in that laughter. And remember, laughter and orgasm are the number two, one and two magic wands for ascension, in my opinion. So let's seek that out during these days, right? And Mars trining Saturn. So this is like slow burn, the same day. We're going to be feeling maybe like a slowdown on something in our like fast paced, some kind of journey we've been on. There might be a slowdown today. And in that slowdown is like, oh, right. I meant to double check on something to make sure that this success actually feels sustainable. And so make a checklist for your long-term projects. Maybe like look at what are some grounded steps I could take. Notice that if something isn't working today, don't force it. We're flowing. It's not working because it's not meant to, or we're meant to be delayed so some more messages can come through. And really like just think about embodying emotional intelligence. What does it take for you to feel regulated, to lead with empathy, to lead with excellence from the inside out? And again, this might be a great time to do a meditation, some somatic work that can help you really be in that place of like expanding the container for the success that you're calling in, that you're working on. On the same day, it's a busy day, we have Mercury's opposite Uranus. So all I'm going to say is expect the ding, 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 the light bulb moments, mental fireworks. Insights might come quick. Okay. So just keep your download diary nearby, whether it's through conversations, whether it's through meditations, whether it's being in the shower, on the subway. You're going to have some, I would say, like little sparks come through, right? That are really important, and some things that are going to be leading you to your aligned path, to your cosmic zone, definitely out of the comfort zone. Okay, what's next? November 2nd. So moving right along, Venus is going to square Jupiter on November 2nd. Like I said, we have a Venus-Mars weekend. So this is a moment where we are going to feel some kind of expansive, like love energy within ourselves. And we might feel kind of, as Gay Hendricks said, like an upper limit belief moment happen with that. Maybe something happens where you're like, I don't know if I'm comfortable. Like I can feel a self-sabotaging thing come up, or I can feel some kind of upper limit around love come up. Can you sit with yourself? Can you check in with yourself? Can you talk to yourself, before reacting? Can you give love? Can you make a promise that I can give love? I can open to love without losing myself. Can I show up in relationship without feeling that place of overpromising, the obligation energy? Can I show up in just a mutual reciprocity in this relationship and see what that does, right? Like, so we're doing all of that. And then likewise on that same weekend, right after that, we have Mars trines Neptune. So this is like soul-led action. You are going to feel called to get up and go and do something. And I want you to trust that this is like the magic moment, needing motivation. So trust, follow the signs. But just to wrap up with Mars trining Neptune, I do want you to pay attention to where your soul, where your heart is saying like it's time to take a leap in a sacred real life action step. Okay. And I would love for you to do something like, set some kind of step in your life, like do something in the real world where you are channeling your passion into something creative, spiritual, where you're reaching out, where you're letting someone know I'm ready to take the next step on this, to do something that is like you essentially entering into cosmic consent with the universe and saying like, I'm ready. I feel this thing. I'm ready. I've been feeling it for a while, but today is the day I take one step towards it. So, mini ritual for Samhain. So, October 31st, I want you to, if this feels resonant to you, I love, like I said, Samhain marks the thinning of the veil, the midpoint between fall and winter. And it's where the physical and spiritual worlds really overlap. The veil feels really thin. And I love ritual, as a way of connecting into this, to getting more insight, wisdom, grounded truth on what's happening. But also ritual to me feels like play. It really does. It gets to feel like it connects me to that awe and like wide-eyed wonderment for the world again. So I love for Samhain to create some kind of beautiful visual landscape, an altar on the ground, a circle. It could be something on your dining room table, and really think about what Samhain feels like, right? I love things that are like, black and orange candles. I like to put out like some of my cool crystals. I have a big crystal skull, and feathers represent the connection to spirit, water, salt. I always love to have something that represents the four elements, air, feather, or incense, water, some kind of bowl of water out, seashells, earth, some kind of crystal, soil, a plant, an herb, and then fire in a candle. And if you have anything that connects you to your ancestors, a picture frame, a handkerchief, put that there. If you don't have anything physical from them, but something that represents them, or if you are adopted or you don't exactly know like your direct ancestral lineage, you could do your cultural lineage. If you know you're Italian, you could bring out some basil or a book on Italy. Or if you have no idea even anything about your cultural background, you can always connect into a spiritual lineage, right? This is about just remembering that you are not here alone. As Kamala would say, you didn't just fall from a coconut tree. You are here. You came from a lineage of people who prayed over you, who their lives live within you, their light and their shadow lives within you. And a big thing I saw Wayne is connecting to them and also connecting to their light. So that way you can live in that, not in their shadow. So I love, if you know any of their names, sit with them, talk to them. If you know something they liked, a lot of cultures talk about leaving out tobacco or alcohol for them. But you can leave out food. Like I said, I let out a little dumb supper, like a smaller version of a meal that I was making. And I will literally sit down and eat dinner with my ancestors on Samhain, like hang out with them, certain things that I know that they loved. And this will be my first Samhain actually without my mom. So I'm probably going to cry thinking about that. But I also just realized like it's hitting me. That's why I love this podcast. It like helps me like process things in real time. And I'll probably put out a little like beautiful, very delicate little bit of stemware with a little Grand Marnier in it for her because she loved that. You can also put apples, pomegranates, gourds, pumpkins, things that are seasonal on the altar. And I would love for you to sit in commune, sit in communion with your ancestors. They love you so much. And like now that I've become a mother, like I understand so much even deeper, like the unbreakable bond of love that I feel, for these boys who lived in my womb. And I've always felt that way towards my sisters, my cousins, my aunts. And so I just imagine that looking down your lineage, how much pride and joy and yearning just to like be right in your energy and to be open. And so I think having just a dedicated, at least one day a year to be like, I'm listening, I'm open. If you want to sit down, if you want to write down what you're releasing from the past year, you can burn or bury that list. You can ask your ancestors, what parts of me are ready to come more online? What are gifts that I'm ready to receive? What are things that I might not be seeing, that might be missing on this picture? And you can pull cards, you can meditate, you could tune in, you could do like, I always find like candles and flame work offer so much to me. Like, you'll just see how your ancestors, and you can call in your benevolent ancestors if you're not sure like who's who. Like you always have boundaries, right? It's always your party. You have to decide who's coming. And I invite you to brew yourself a cup of tea of something beautiful, maybe like with some yummy spices like cinnamon in it, some mugwort. I always love like a licorice tea, and like really whisper like your things you're grateful for into that tea, and then drink it and feel that warmth of the gratitude of the herbs, like warm in your belly, warm in your presence from the inside out. And just closing with gratitude for your ancestors, maybe committing to walking with them even more deeply in your daily life and your practice, maybe building an ancestor altar if you don't already have one, committing to be in communion with them throughout the year. The only thing I will say is if you're going to build an ancestor altar, do not have it in your bedroom. I don't need to elaborate more on this, but you don't want your ancestors in, where you do the freaky deaky, okay? That gets weird. Besides that, have fun with it, right? Again, make it feel like playful, make it feel like art. And that is your week, my cosmic angels. And remember, like, you're not here to feel overwhelmed. You're not here to play small. You're not here to see how small you can make yourself. You are here to be fully expressed, embodied in your cosmic power, the living, breathing embodiment of the prayers and dreams and desires of your ancestors, and the living, breathing embodiment that magic is real. So until next time, keep trusting your timing, trusting your magic, living in the cosmic zone. And I will continue to wrap you and your beloveds and your family and your friends in prayers of protection and direction, and sending you blessings for, especially with Scorpio season magic, the big, fat, juicy checks and hot, fulfilling, like howl at the top of your lungs, toe curling sex. Until next week, bye everybody. Mwah.
Do you love getting your Cosmic RX for the week here and want more? Make sure to sign up for our premium subscription so you can get exclusive access to bonus podcast episodes, all of my astrology info for the month ahead, and live new and full moon calls to help you manifest your dream life with an intentional international community of other cosmic baddies. Sign up through our link in show notes. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you want to know more about Cosmic RX, head on over to thecosmicrx.com. And if you really love this show, I'd love it if you left a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts. I super love hearing from you and reading your reviews. All right, you cosmic baddie, tune in next week. And until then, remember, love yourself fully, work your magic, and take no shit.